Hi all. This is my grandma's southern pinto beans. It can feed a family of 6 for under $5. That's including cornbread. And it's very simple to make, and it's actually very nutritious and filling. The equipment you'll need: a 6-quart Dutch oven with lid. The ingredients you'll need: bacon, dried pinto beans, kosher salt. First up, I'm going to rinse off the beans under some water in a sieve. And this is just to make sure there's no dust or any particles that you don't want in there, and you feel around. Back in the day, they used to hand sort the beans to make sure there was no pebbles in or anything like that in there. But that doesn't happen anymore. Now I'm just filling up the Dutch oven to do the first soak. And I always do this at bedtime. I'm going to fill the pot all the way to the brim and then put it on the stove with no heat overnight, the lid on, and then come back the next morning and I'll rinse off the beans. You'll see the water is very dirty here. It has a lot of enzymes that have been released. And I'm just going to dump the brown water into the sink through the sieve and rinse them off. Make sure I get it thoroughly rinsed off, as well as the pot, because you don't want all that stuff that came off to go back onto the beans. You want a clean second soak. And once I've rinsed everything off, I'm going to put it back in. You can see how engorged the beans are because it's taken on so much water. And once I've done this, once I've rinsed everything off, I'm just going to put it back in on the stove again, no heat once again, and I'm going to fill it up to the brim with water. And it will, you can do for a little as you want, but usually I would do 6 hours. And now I'm putting it back on the stove for 6 hours with the lid on, no heat again, and you can see the water is dirty, but not as dirty as it had been. So I'm really going to rinse it off, make sure I get all the enzyme that have come off the beans, rinsed off the beans, as well as the pan, because I need to use the pan to cook a slice of bacon in. But I'm just going to thoroughly wash these off first. And once I've done that, I'm going to put the pan on the stove with 1 slice of bacon. And my grandmother used to use ham hocks, but my mom says they're too salty now. I guess because they're mass produced, they're not like by your local butcher. So we use a slice of bacon for that flavor. And you're looking for the Maillard reaction. As you can see, you get some brown bits at the bottom. And once that's happened, you don't want to fully cook the bacon, just a little bit. We're going to dump the beans back into the pan and cover it with water. And it's pretty simple. We're only going to put in about 1/2 inch of water above the beans. And I've stirred it around a little bit. Now I'm going to add the water. And we're going to cook it low and slow. It's going to be over a low to medium flame. You just want to simmer it. You don't want to boil it. And we're going to put the lid back on. We're going to leave a little bit of space for some steam to escape, as you'll see. And I'll check it in an hour. And it's been an hour now. We're halfway there to be able to eat it. And I'm just going to stir it up, just checking on it. In the meantime, I'm going to make some Jiffy corn muffins. This is very convenient. I would say I do prefer making homemade cornbread, but this is a great choice when you're in a hurry and just don't have the time. And it's inexpensive as well. I am going to do a video showing you how to make homemade cornbread. It's not hard. It's basically a quick bread, and but it just takes time. Like anything that's homemade, it takes time. So I'm going to put these in the oven, and once they're in the oven, I'm going to make some honey butter. And the honey butter is very simple. My mom loves honey butter, so I've got to make it tonight, or I'll hear about it. And basically, it's just butter and honey mixed together, and then you put it in a ramekin and you serve it with it, and it's so good. You can put it with muffins. You can put it with popovers or scones or toast. It's just really incredible. And they're coming out of the oven, as you can see. Oh, I got my finger on there. And I just let them cool on a rack because you want them to cool down. You don't want to eat them hot like that because they'll just crumble and it won't be very pleasant. So I let them cool down, and now I'm going to make the honey butter. As I said, this is just a stick of butter that is softened at room temperature, and I put 1/4 cup of honey in there. I just guesstimated, and I just whip it up, and then I put it in a ramekin and I serve it with the cornbread and the beans. And my mother cannot get enough of it. I tried to get it away from her, and she's like, more. Anyways, so this is what it looks like. And the beans are done now. This is what it looks like. As you can see, it's barely simmering. That's how it cooked the entire way. And this is how the meal looks. And we've always served it traditionally with, of course, green onions or sliced onions. That's how they do it in the South. Equipment you'll need: a 6-quart Dutch oven with lid. Ingredients you'll need: 1 slice of bacon, 1 pound of dried pinto beans, 2 tablespoons of kosher salt. Equipment you'll need to make corn muffins: a muffin tin, a whisk, a mixing bowl, a measuring cup, baking paper cups. Ingredients you'll need: Jiffy corn muffin mix, 1 egg, 1/3 cup of milk. Equipment you'll need to make honey butter: a whisk, a measuring cup. Ingredients you'll need: a stick of butter, 1/4 cup of honey. My next video, I made homemade cherry jam as well as preserving it. Please like, subscribe, and comment. I would love to hear from you and if you made anything. I make videos every week on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays on a variety of topics: cooking, skincare, lifestyle, gardening. Thank you all for watching. I really appreciate your time.